Ah, dang it. Hold on. This gonna have to. Let me go over here and kind of clear some stuff up really quick. This one was new. Okay. Um, I hope he saves some of these. Let's see here. Delete this one. Okay, let me see. Go back, go back, go back. Oh, we're alive. How y'all doing? What's up, everybody? This your girl E with Enters the Lab. We are coming to you tonight. So go ahead and get some things going. My Bulldogs did something yesterday. I just want to say, all y'all that wanted to talk about Gunna, y'all, we ain't finna talk about Gunna. Okay, Gunna went 100% in that second half. So, but we finna get down and dirty, and we finna talk some college football and some NFL while we get ready to watch this game tonight. So, welcome to Enters the Lab. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing this evening? How's everything going? It is Thursday nights, and we with it. How y'all doing?
I'm doing
Good, man.
it's been a long week, but and
Hey,
you know,
look, I don't blame you. It is Thursday. I'm still trying to find my bearings. I am waiting for Friday, but your girl birthday next week, so yeah. Gotta do it all of that. But no, see here, y'all won. Y'all won. Y'all had Baker over there looking crazy.
Yeah, man. It's a good week. It's a good week, man. Detroit won. Michigan won.
Okay, and y'all got
Yeah, man. Hey
Michigan.
Baker, man. Hey, man. I know it's a little banged up, but hey, we had yeah, yeah.
So we'll
little bro,
see.
man,
But
as you
yeah,
like to say,
Baker
little bro
is
now.
banged up. J Mick, our Bulldogs did what they came to do. We knocked Ole Miss out, and that was a good game. What did you? I mean, don't we ain't gonna talk about the other side of the ball, but what did you think about everything else?
watching a game like that is gonna have you on the edge of your seat. What I will say is I'm glad we ain't got a game this week, so I could just chillax, like, because it feel like every week is. For the last 3-4 weeks it's been like that. So it's good to have a weekend where they ain't playing and I ain't really got to worry about it.
Exactly. We got that bye week. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. And we're going to talk about these conferences again. October is almost over. And we are now moving into the most critical month of college football because this is where teams go in and make their statement calls to the committee to see if they're one of the 12 teams to be in the playoffs. But also, this is determining who's going to be playing in those conference championships to get those automatic bids. So let's start with the SEC. Let's start with Big Daddy. So now, out of the SEC, we already know that our top schools, you're looking at Alabama, you're looking at possibly Texas A&M if they don't fold this year. You're looking at Georgia, and then you can legitimately throw in there Ole Miss. Now, SEC can come out with probably about 5 teams, maybe 6. I don't know about that 6, but I'll be honest with you. I don't see a 10-2 or a 9-3 team coming out the SEC the way these other conferences are playing right now. So, Vandy, let's talk about Vandy. Vandy's on was one of those teams that's kind of looking in right now because they can't really lose any more games going down the stretch with that because again 10-2 might not get you there. Down 9-3 definitely won't get you there. And then you can also throw in Mizzou. Mizzou's actually been playing pretty well, good football as well. So did I miss Alabama? I must have did it on purpose. Anyway, but let's go ahead and dive in. Hen, what do you think about Vandy, especially with Vandy having Ole Miss coming up? What do you think about Mr. Pavia over there?
Very excited about, what I'm saying, their team, man. And I kind of disagree with you a little bit. I do think that some 10-2 teams can come out of those super conferences like the SEC and like the Big Ten and make the playoff. I have to look at some of those other teams, and some of those other conferences, and I know it's going to be a little bit of a attrition, as you will, as you go down the stretch. But when you talk about Vanderbilt specifically, like you said, they can't probably lose another game. I don't know how their schedule was, it's pretty much set up outside of the conference, but I think for them it's going to be kind of hard, for them to be a three-loss team. Getting a team like Missouri, it may be kind of hard for a 3-loss Missouri to get in there, depending on the losses and how they lose those games. But 2-loss teams from the SEC and the Big Ten, I think there may be 1 or 2 teams with 2 losses that can possibly crash the party when it comes to the college football playoff.
Okay, J. Mick, what is your thought about it?
When you look at the standings, so like you said, you got the 2 undefeated teams in the conference, Texas A&M and Bama. So I think they're kind of good right now. Then you got about 5 or 6 teams that got 1 loss in terms of in the conference, like Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas, Missouri, OU, and Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt is in a better spot than the rest of because Vanderbilt, their only losses to Alabama, and Alabama is the 4th team in the country. So I think depending on who they lose, so I think Vanderbilt can afford to lose 1 more game, but that's it. Like I think that's what you're looking at. Like there's going to be a lot of teams with 2 losses, and I think if you get that 3rd loss, I think you're kind of screwed. And I think the same thing goes for Ole Miss. Like Ole Miss lost to Georgia in a close game on the road, and Georgia's 5th now. So I think like those 2 schools, as long as they only lose 1 more game, and that 1 game got to be to a really good team. I think they're poised to make the playoff, and I'm kind of happy for Vanderbilt. Like, obviously, I'm not like I'm a Georgia fan first and foremost, but like Vanderbilt been down for a while, so it would be good to see them actually finish out the season strong and make the playoff.
Yeah, shout out to Vandy. Vandy has been playing exceptional football. I just want to say this: y'all better back the heck away from my. Leave Jared alone. I'm saying that to all y'all Vanderbilt fans. Don't get your hopes up. Leave Jared alone. That's all I'm gonna say. We are going to move over to the Big Ten. We already kind of know who's coming out of the Big Ten with Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, and I think I'm missing one more. Those are the top 3 right now. But who else?
You know what? See, that's listen. It's gonna get risky now. Now I think those first 3 teams are about a lot: Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon. But again, though, I'm looking at it as that 3rd loss could be definitely the kiss of death for some teams. A lot of teams, probably most teams in our conference, because we don't have as many teams ranked. Now, I think there can be some question about some of these teams. When you look at a team like Nebraska, they didn't help themselves. They had a bad loss last week. Washington losing to Michigan. I think you're going to see some of these teams kind of, start to kind of fall a little bit to the I don't want to say to the wayside, but fall out of contention for the college football playoff. But with that said, I think that we can possibly get 4 teams. And again, I don't know if my Wolverines can hold on to that spot, but USC.
USC is coming.
But the problem is USC not ranked anymore though.
Yeah, after that loss to Notre Dame.
Yeah, I know, but as it plays out, though, I think they're going to be able to accumulate a few, 1 or 2 more conference wins. I'm sorry, ranked wins, and then if they go into not the playoff, but into the conference championship, I'm sure that'll be a chance for them to get another ranked win. And if they win the conference, hey, you already know they automatically, get a seat at the table. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes down the line. But those top 3 spots definitely like If those teams can stay under 2 losses, they're going to be in there, and that's Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon. Can the Big Ten get a 4th or possibly 5th team in there is going to be the question down the stretch.
Yeah, I don't know about a 15.
AZT.
I mean, 4 like what I say about Michigan is if Michigan could beat Ohio State, I think they're going to position themselves in a great position. Like if Michigan can win out, I think Michigan will find themselves in like the top 10 to 12 teams. But I mean, and that's the only school I could see that can get in. I mean, other than them top 3 schools, because I mean, the thing about Illinois is like they got some bad losses. No, I mean, like they lost to IU, but that was a complete wipeout kind of like. They get up like 60 something points, and I get that. I mean, like the Hoosiers are the second team in the country, but that was just a bad loss at the time, and I just don't trust them to win out. So I mean, best case scenario, it's got to be Michigan. I think that's the 4th team. I'm not sure about a 5th.
Yeah, I know that was kind of the conversation. DT, share some Chinese food with us. I actually had food earlier to myself. But that is the conversation that a lot of people are trying to figure out. Well, if the Big Ten can pull out at least 4 or 5, but DC said it. They might stay at 4. We'll see. It really just depends on, like I said, November is the critical time of the year. Like you cannot falter right now. Like we're coming up into October. You can't falter right now, but definitely in November, that can make or break your chances, as we have seen before in the past. Let's move on over to the Big 12. Now, the Big 12 has a question mark. Big 12 definitely has a blue bowl opportunities. They did. They really could beat Notre Dame. But let's move over to the Big 12. Big 12 is a big question mark. And the reason why I said that is because they have a lot of opportunities, but I don't see them coming out like they did kind of last year. With probably like with 2 of them, I literally only see them coming out with 1 this year. Definitely 1 this year. And right now for them, you got BYU, you have Texas Tech. Who else?
I mean, you got Cincinnati at 21 and ASU
yeah.
is at 24.
Houston only has 1 loss.
Yeah, and then what about the Kansas schools? Which was one of those Kansas schools?
Kansas State, they're 3 and 4, and Kansas is 4 and 3.
So I don't think
4 and 4. Okay.
They battling for the Blue Bonnet Bowl right now. They battling.
I mean, realistically, like the Big 12 might be able to get with the Big 10 possibly only getting 3 or 4. I think the Big 12, if BYU could stay undefeated and if Texas Tech doesn't lose another game, I think those 2 schools could only get into the college football playoff. It's possible.
Well, here's the thing, J-Mick, because all of our conferences don't have the divisions anymore. It's based off the time. So if we leave it with BYU and Texas Tech. Let's just say BYU and Texas Tech. They got to play each other. One of them's getting the automatic bid, and the other one's gonna have to fight for a regular spot against some SEC teams. And if we're saying the Big Ten is gonna get 3 and 4, they have that, and we haven't really touched on the ACC yet. So I'm kind of looking at it that they might knock themselves out. To be honest with you, if we're kind of talking about it.
Yeah, but I think BYU and Texas Tech was the win out. I think Texas Tech would get up into the top 10, and then they'd only have 1 loss. And I don't think the committee is going to hold a loss against you in like the conference championship game.
So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, because the divisions kind of went away. This can aid a team that maybe gets a 1 loss or 2 losses before the conference championship game, and then don't play in the conference championship game, because now we don't have those divisions, so it's going to be those top 2 teams. So conceivably, BYU and the Texas Tech can play regular season. Somehow, Texas Tech could possibly lose that game, and say a Cincinnati, I don't know what the tiebreakers are, say a Cincinnati, I don't know what the schedule is, but say a Cincinnati or a Houston somehow makes the championship game. There's a way that, one of those teams can win the conference, like you said, get the automatic bid, and then the other team can just get in by, hey, we're the highest ranked team, we're going to be ranked in the top final 12, and not playing that championship game.
Well,
Ohio State, they didn't play in their championship game last year. They benefited from not playing in that game. They had 2 losses, didn't play in the championship game, got the benefit of the doubt, and got put into the playoff and won it. So there is some benefit of not, having those divisions and not playing in that championship game. It's a little loophole.
I mean, but the only thing is that if Cincinnati doesn't lose a conference game, Texas Tech won't even get the ability to go to the conference championship.
Yeah, because they 3-1. That's what I was getting ready to say. And to DT's point, because of how their conference set up, it brings so many causes and effects to their schedule. Because Colorado had a chance last year to get in. They had a chance. But because with Arizona State and everybody else kind of mixing and matching, it knocked them out. Like they had to have so much happen. Like, you know how we have, when it comes down to the wild card for the NFL, you got to have to depend on other teams. Colorado had to depend on freaking Kansas to help them get in. Yeah. So that's where it comes down to it. That's why I said, I'm like, it can make or break with the Big 12. I'm only going to say one. They could get 2, but somebody else is going to have to falter down. And then BYU versus Texas Tech November 8th. So somebody finna get knocked out some way, somehow.
Yeah, and I mean BYU has to play Cincinnati the second or last game.
November 22nd.
Yeah, so I mean someone's gonna get some losses in some of these games. So
yeah. And then we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back in where we were last year when it came down with these tiebreakers to try to figure out who gets what. That's why Arizona State was able to benefit and get that automatic bye. Shout out to Scatterboo.
Scatterboo.
I mean, but to be honest, I mean, it looks good for the SEC schools. To be honest with you, I mean, like going conference to conference. You're looking at some of these teams and their records. I mean. And I mean, people value that the SEC conference. They value for the quality of the conference. So, yeah, I mean, like if you're in that conference right now and
I gotta push back. I'm gonna ask you. You say it looks good. The records look the same as the other conference. The only difference is
the teams is all
the rankings that are in front of their names.
Yep.
That's the only difference. And we know from August to the end of the season. There's always some bias in these rankings. So to me, I mean, the conferences look the same as everybody else's conference. The records look the same, but it's just that these numbers on the side of these teams.
I mean,
and we ain't really seen them play nobody else.
Too, though. That's
we gonna say that they about to have a battle royal amongst each other. But I mean, come on, what are we talking about? Great question. Is they really that good? What are we talking about?
DT, I'm not gonna answer that because we had this conversation every year about LSU. We don't know when LSU is really gonna be good. Let's be for real. We don't know.
I mean, LSU probably. I mean, like they need a lot of help to make the call for. I think they already got 3 losses already, don't they?
They are 5-2. But what I'm saying is they're one of the teams that got a number next to them.
Yeah, but I don't think
who's to say that LSU team is better than the USC team?
Yeah, but I mean, LSU.
I can tell you that.
No. We just talking about right now. We ain't talking about no historically. We talking about today. I
mean, but their number
who's to say that 5-2 LSU team that's ranked 20th in the nation is better than what was USC 5-2.
Yeah, but the problem. So here's the problem. LSU. LSU still got to play Texas A&M, Alabama, and OU. Those it's the 3rd ranked team, the 4th ranked team, and the 13th ranked team in the country. They're not going to win all them games, bro. So I mean, the second they lose one game,
so most likely once they play them guys, they're not going to be ranked no more.
Yeah,
they probably be ranked after they probably won't be ranked after the first one. We seen Penn State and Texas fall out with their losses.
Yeah, and they got to play Texas A&M on Saturday. So I mean, if they lose that game,
that's what I'm saying. I'm like the numbers, the rankings. I mean at this point.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, within conference, like they're so far down in the rankings that they're not. You know, I mean, they've got Bama and OU. They got a chance to climb back up, but are they with 3 losses? Are they really going to climb all the way back up to 12? And I don't know if they could do that.
Alabama wasn't able to, and they was right there on the outside looking in. To be honest.
Yeah. So
they was ranked top 15, 12?
No, I think they were 12, but then it was the whole thing. It was the whole thing with like what was it? The ACC. championship game, and where like the game went to overtime, and like when they came out with the final rankings, they decided to give Bama a spot to somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like you lose 3 games. I mean, like you put yourself at the mercy of the committee. I don't care what conference that you win.
Yeah.
And that's it happened to Bama last year. It happened to Georgia 2 years ago. So if, like I said, like 2 losses, okay, fine, and your schedule's pretty good, cool. But you get that 3rd loss, I mean, you put yourself in jeopardy. I don't care if you're in the SEC. I don't care if you're in the Big 12, the Big 10, or the ACC.
Yeah. And then speaking of ACC about to have them a little battle going down. Well, Notre Dame gets them a spot automatically. They don't qualify for an automatic bid. So if they stay competitive towards the end of the season, we already know that. But let's talk about the ones that get to play in the ACC conference. You got Georgia Tech that's up there with a 4-0 conference. You got SMU following right there behind them with a 3-0. Then you go Duke, who is 3-1. Pittsburgh, who is 3-1. Virginia, who is 3-1. And then you go to Cal, 2-1, 2-1. Miami.
Actually 3-0, actually.
I'm sorry. I was looking at 3-1. But yes, SMU is 3-0. Then you got Miami, who is there at 1-1.
Yeah. I mean, how do you get to this point in the season and only play 2 conference games though? It's about to be November.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
No, but see that's the way they schedule it. So let's talk about their schedule. They already took a loss to Louisville, right?
Yep.
They got Stanford, they got SMU, they got Syracuse, they got NC State, Virginia Tech, and Pitt. Majority of their conference games come towards the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so now, like overall, they're 5-1. Virginia's 6-1. Georgia Tech 7-0. Louisville 5-1. So for me,
but see, here's the thing: Georgia Tech and Virginia don't. Georgia Tech and I think Virginia don't play Miami.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not gonna knock them off that spot, but you have a school like Duke who plays all of them.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be the spoiler pretty much.
They could be. They could be.
And Pitt can play spoiler.
Yeah.
Let me see Pitt.
And I mean, like the thing about Pitt is like going up to Pittsburgh and playing in their stadium. Like those games tend to be tough. I mean, I'm not saying that the Denver school's going to lose to Pitt, but like I mean, like Pitt gonna make you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you got to go up to Pittsburgh and play them there, like, and you're gonna have to earn that victory now.
So that's another. So this is another conference that a team could definitely benefit from not winning a conference and not playing in a conference championship game.
I mean, because if Miami don't find a way into the conference championship game and they end up with 1 loss, they're gonna make the college football playoff.
Well, I think if they already got 1 loss, so I think if they get a second loss,
then they might have an issue.
They might have an issue, but they might sneak in though.
Well, see, because their first loss was already bad.
Yeah.
That first loss was already bad.
Yeah, so I just don't think they can afford to lose another game. Because if they lose another game, they're definitely not making the conference championship game, for sure.
Well, they played
That might not be so bad. I mean, ask the current champ. The current champ, they went in there fresh.
That's true too, yeah.
But Pittsburgh, be honest with you, Pittsburgh has at the end of the season, they played Notre Dame on November 15th. They turn around, they play Georgia Tech on November 22nd, and then they play Miami at the end of the season. Pitt can play spoiler to 2 teams.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, and then let's look at SMU's schedule right here, because SMU can make some more noise like they did last year. SMU has Wake Forest. They play Miami on my birthday, so I expect to win. SMU. Shout out Triple D. They play Miami on November 1st. They got Boston College, Louisville, and then Cal.
That schedule don't sound that terrible right there, actually.
It don't.
And then into the dance again.
Exactly. Then you got Virginia. They play UNC. Cal, Wake Forest, Duke has a bye before they play Virginia Tech.
Oh, they sound like they win the championship already.
Again.
Yeah, that sounds real good. So again, yeah. There's who's Louisville play? Who's Louisville's? What's Louisville's schedule?
Let me go look at. Look, yeah. Hold on. I'm finna say. Hold on. Louisville. You gotta get it. Louisville. They will get on you if you don't pronounce that right. They got Boston College, Virginia Tech, Cal, Clemson, SMU, and then Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Then Kentucky.
Ooh. You said SMU. That's really the only name that I really heard. Yeah, now they can be the spoiler who gets into the dance. Because I didn't hear Miami. Well, no, actually, they played Miami, right? They beat Miami, right?
And they beat Miami. That was Miami's worst loss.
I didn't hear Georgia Tech on that schedule. I didn't hear Virginia on that schedule.
Nope.
ACC
got them a little competition going on over here.
Yeah,
the conference is actually
see somebody gonna slide and get that third little team in there, and that's gonna mess it up for somebody. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. When we were just talking about the Big 12, I don't see them making it too when you got other teams over here, like in the ACC, that can basically play spoiler to them.
I can see two. Texas, I'm maybe not three, but I can see two.
I mean, like Georgia Tech, the only team they really going to lose to is probably Georgia, if that was to happen. I mean, the rest of their schedule is not that bad.
Yeah.
Then let me see Virginia's schedule.
I can see that.
And DT, to answer your question, the three teams from the SEC are A&M, Georgia, and Bama right now, currently. Yeah, you can have a conversation about Ole Miss, and then you can throw Vandy in there with that. But yes.
But yeah, like Virginia, if Virginia and UNC went out in the conference, they're going to the conference championship game, and Miami not going. No matter what Miami does. So.
And that would be 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And because the thing is, like, Georgia Tech could lose to Georgia because that's not a conference game. So that, like, you know, I mean, they would have still been undefeated in the conference, so they're gonna make it to that game regardless. So. Yes, I mean, like, in Miami put themselves in another bad situation again for the second year in a row.
I like this. We talking about all this because we expanded. We went to 12 teams. We gonna get some. We gonna get some. I ain't gonna say mid, but it's gonna be some non-championship football in this tournament.
Let's talk about some of these. Outliers too. One outlier that has a real good argument is USF, University of South Florida. They have a dang good argument to step in. Again, this is where it gets tricky in those last 2 spots, maybe even 3 spots. You know what? I'm just going to say the last 4 spots. This is where it gets tricky.
USFN again, because I forgot what conference that they're in.
That conference USA?
ACC? No, they're not in the ACC.
Nah, they're in the
American.
Yeah, so like they would be one of those non-power 4 teams. Like they get that one
group of 5.
Non-power 4, yeah. So if they were to win out, they might be that team, possibly, because they're 18th in the country right now. So.
That, you know what, and let's talk about the group of 5. I know when we first did it, we didn't think really nobody from those group of 5 conferences can do anything. USF can definitely play major spoiler right now. Yeah. They definitely cannot. Somebody in one of these Power 4 conferences is knock one of those teams out.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the top 25. They're the only team in the top 25 that's not a Power 4
Say it
team.
again, DT. They got to play Memphis, and that's the problem, because Memphis can play spoiler. That's my next one. Memphis can play spoiler.
I'm gonna tell you what, there's a couple teams over here. Tulane.
I mean, Navy too. I mean, Navy's undefeated. I just don't know.
Navy 6-0. This American Conference. Look here, they got some teams that's interesting over here to look at. But yeah, that Memphis and the South Florida game is going to be a very interesting game.
I mean, my only beef with Memphis is that they lost to UAB last week, man. That loss is a terrible loss for them, though.
But they have a chance to rebound. If they can beat a team like USF, they got a very dang good argument.
True. They have to run the table. All these boys right here, Arkansas. They got to run these tables.
Yeah, because remember, Memphis beat Arkansas.
Yeah,
so you got an SEC team win, even though we know Arkansas ain't nothing, but they got an SEC team win on their schedule.
I mean, like, that's why it's good sometimes to be in these big conferences, because I mean, like, you can afford to lose 1 and 2 games and you'll still be good. These are smaller conferences. Like, sometimes you can only lose 1 game and that's it.
That's it.
But I mean, it should be interesting. I mean, like, this is the time of, college football. Like, you know, we get to this, you know, you get to November and Thanksgiving, and pretty much it's decided in this month. Like, well, I mean, you know, like, we're still in October, but I mean, like, November is like a week from Saturday. So I mean, like, that month, everything you need to know.
We're almost there,
exactly. Yeah. We're almost there, man. I hate it because that means I got a long off season coming. Got a long off season coming. But before we move into our games, let's kind of give an update on these coach firings that are going on right now. So there's going to be a couple of openings, and it's going to be a very interesting start with the teams that don't make it when they go down and start hiring their coaches. So you have Jay Norvell from Colorado State. We already know about Brent Pry from Virginia Tech. You already know about the big one that everybody knew about is Napier from Florida.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking I'm missing one more that just happened this week. Trying to think at the top of my head. But the main one, let's talk about Florida, because you got Lane Kiffin. They're saying that Lane Kiffin might be that one to try to go over there, but I don't think that Lane wants to leave Ole Miss, because if not, he's going to bring that whole entire team to Florida. Let's just be real with that. I know that they already talking about the Nebraska coach trying to go to Penn State with that situation. The other Norvell down in Florida State, they say they're going to have a conversation at the end of the season about where the football program is going. Hugh Freeze might be on the hot seat. And then they were even saying for that Virginia Tech position that the Shane Beamer might be in contention to probably go back up there where his father started it all. So it's going to be a coaching carousel in college, but some of these coaches, we already kind of knew that they were going to get fired. My thing is, at this point, who's going to be the next coach? Who's going to move from some of these top programs? Somebody's going to leave from a program to go over there for a better program. Like, what do you guys think about these firings? Because this is sounding like the NFL now. Go ahead, Cian.
We talked a little bit about it last week, and I asked, are these schools trying to get a jump in the hiring process? And I think that they are, but it's kind of like, who are you going to hire? Are you going to, is there some proven entity out there that you want? We saw the gentleman at Indiana. He was able to get, parlay this into a $98 million contract extension, fully guaranteed. I've been hearing that, Lane's name has come up in a couple of these openings as a possible replacement for a couple of these openings. He's trying to parlay that into a possible extension with LSU. But I will say this: I think that a school like a Penn State, a school like Florida could possibly lure one of the big names. You look at a guy like a Lane. I think he wants to win on the highest level, and I think that Ole Miss is presenting him a great opportunity to do that. But I think Florida may give him a bigger chance, a better chance to do it. I know the money will be great. I know the alumni base would be great. I know the player base in terms of the talent in that state and around that state is great. And again, I just think that they'll just have a little bit bigger push, a little bit more tradition, a little bit more money, a little bit more of a machine than what he has at Mississippi. So I think that could interest him, or it could parlay itself into a bigger contract with him. But for me, I want to get, I'm hearing Mike Elko tonight, the guy from Texas A&M who's kind of made his name out there. But I want to focus on some of the other guys. I don't even know the guy's name, and maybe you guys can enlighten me. But The gentleman at Vanderbilt seems to have done a great job building up that program. The
He
gentleman
ain't
at
leaving though.
Missouri,
Yeah, I thought he
he's
just
seen
got an extension, didn't he?
what's that now?
Yeah, they just gave him. I think they gave him an extension, but yeah, he just got there because he was a Notre Dame's DC before he
Okay,
came over there to
okay,
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, because I think his
okay,
first year, his first season was last year. They did really well. I thought in the in the off season they gave him an extension, like
okay,
right away.
okay. The
Brent
Missouri,
Key. Did you just say Brent Key from Georgia Tech?
no, but that's another one. Hey, yeah, that's another
Mm-hmm.
guy. I would think that some bigger schools would be looking at him to kind of bring him in. The gentleman Tony Elliott at Virginia, I think he's done a great job there. And I know that there are some limitations in what they can do there in terms of their academics, in terms of bringing in some of these guys who may not be able to get into all these other schools because I'm sorry, they can't get into I'm sorry, they can't get in there because their academic standards are so high. So again,
Yeah.
going to a program, a program with more money behind it, a little bit more leeway in terms of who you can recruit and the talent of player that you can bring in there. I think that will attract some talent, but it may not be that top line guy that we know. We're gonna have to. They may have to find the next Marcus Freeman. You know what I mean? They might have to find. I'm saying the next guy. I
His
forget.
name got floated.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Notre Dame has treated him very well. I know that we saw, Brian Kelly walk away from Notre Dame before. And again, I've heard about them. It's hard to get some of these kids into that school. So, and it's a little bit antiquated. I think they still got, dorms, separated by gender. So, it might be time to, evolve. And again, money talks, man. Money talks. You know what I mean? And I can see him possibly leaving, but again, he might parlay into to a bigger deal there. So it's going to be interesting, as you said.
Very interesting. J Mick.
It's like the NFL, man. It's a coaching carousel. Like, I think the combination of the money that the athletes get and the 12-team playoff where you don't really, like you can't use the excuse, well, there's only 4 teams in the playoff anymore. There's 12 teams. And so I just think you couple that with the college football playoff with the money that the athletes are getting, you just don't have any excuses anymore. And if you don't get the job done, they're gonna get you out of there. And I mean, we've seen that this year. Like, I can't remember the last time that we've seen so many coaches get fired this early. In terms of the Power Four, conferences. Like I don't remember the last time I saw that. So I just think those two things have a have a real impact. You got schools like Vandy and Indiana where their coach has only been there for 2 years, and then they pretty much turn those programs around. So I think a lot of the programs, like a lot of the other, I don't call them blue bloods, but the conference, like the teams, the teams that have been around for a while are the Floridas of the world and the Arkansas of the world are just like, like they're looking at their coaches, and the Penn States of the world looking at their coaches like, these guys been there 2 years and they're getting the job done. Y'all been here longer than that, and y'all not getting nothing done. So I mean, we just gotta get rid of you. And I just think that's what it is.
And it's crazy that you say that, Jay Mick, because I have a friend. You mentioned E that we played Michigan State, and he's a Michigan State fan. I'm a Michigan fan, and he's up in arms like his coach isn't doing enough. They haven't done this. They haven't done that. And I'm like, dude, he took the job 2 years ago. You know what I mean? And it's not the best job in the world. He's taking over a situation where it seems like the culture needs a little bit of saying little some tender loving care. And also, the fan base. I mean, it's not, everyone isn't bought in. Everyone is talking about fire him or, make a change. You know what I'm saying? And that's not good in terms of your image to prospective coaches and or players. Nobody wants to go where, it looks like it's going to be a dumpster fire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Money or not, the money's coming from all over. You know what I mean? So can I go somewhere where where I feel comfortable, get the money too? Or do I have to go somewhere, get the money, and I don't know if this guy's even going to be here in the next 6 months, and I might be doing this all over again. You know what I mean? So that matters. You know what I'm saying? The stability of your program, even if it's not doing well on the field, stability behind the scenes. Do you have the infrastructure in place to get players in here? Do you have the facilities? You know what I mean? Do you have not just the money that's come directly into NIL, but do you have other companies lined up to give these kids sponsorships outside of that money? You know what I mean? So it's all about how the whole setup is, man.
Yeah, I definitely agree. A recruit just recently said the reason why he didn't put Florida down as one of his schools was because he didn't want to go to a school where the coaching is uncertain. So
Mm-hmm.
it's these recruits are paying attention. DT
Yeah.
said he's going to push Franklin to his Virginia Tech narrative. Wide open conference, already can recruit in the state of Virginia. Lofty expectations at Penn State to a team that can return to the glory days, and that's the truth. ACC is wide open. Clemson is not the Clemson that we seen. Dabo just now started going into the transfer portal. Don't know how that's going to look for Clemson. Miami is Miami. Georgia Tech just has a magical season, but remember, Hines Kings is going to be out the door here pretty soon. So we don't know how that team is going to be looking next year. And then you still have, your SMUs. You still have a couple of other teams, even though Notre Dame plays the ACC schedule, but you still can account for them too as well in that conference. But yeah, wide open conference. I mean, if he's looking to make a statement and finally win him one, that would be the best place to go.
I'm gonna tell you, I
That or
think
the Big
Franklin is
12.
going. I think he's gonna land on his feet because I don't think the coaching. People are out here, firing these coaches like they got, Nick Saban on the line or Urban Meyer on the line. So I think they're gonna find out that this coaching pool may not be as deep as they thought it was.
As they wanted.
He may find himself at another high profile job. And again, I thought all he really needed at Penn State was to get a top notch quarterback over there. If he can go somewhere and he can get that quarterback, I mean, hey man. He's a very popular face. A lot of people know him. He's put a lot of folks in the league. So, I mean, it's a lot of good to James Franklin.
A lot of good. We'll see.
That's all.
We see the SEC knows him very well when he came over to Vanderbilt. So we know him very well. He can make some things shake, rattle, and move.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
I mean, he'll get your program back up and working. He just not gonna win you no national championship. That's all.
We'll see. We'll see. He probably dust off some shoulders and stuff like that. We'll definitely see. But let's talk about our game of the week. We have Ole Miss versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma is coming in as a 5.5-point favorite against Ole Miss. Remind you, this is the number 8 team going against the number 13 team, and this game is played in Norman, Oklahoma. And in Oklahoma, they are starting to get a little bit chilly. So, Sehan, what do you think about this game?
Man, I was riding with my boy Trinidad, man. Trinidad James Chambliss. And I'm gonna ride with him again, goddamn, because I thought he was able to pull it out. I'm gonna go one more time because I'm loyal to the soil, baby. And I'm gonna ride with him again in this game. John Mateer didn't look that good last time I saw him. And I saw him in that Texas game. I don't know what they did last week. It's gonna be a tough game. He's very, very physical as a runner and definitely an accurate thrower. But I think Lane is gonna try to, finagle his way. He hear y'all talking about him being a candidate for these other jobs. He see the money signs out there. He just got to get this team in the position to get in that playoff. And I think they pull this game out.
I mean, they actually beat South Carolina last week, 26-7. So again, don't sleep on that OU defense. Go ahead, J. Mick.
Yeah, I mean, like Ole Miss coming off a tough loss to Georgia, like we said earlier. I'm just with that defense. I just don't know how they're gonna stop OU from scoring. And I mean, OU. Let's just be frank. I mean, I'm a diehard Georgia fan, but OU defense is better than ours. That's just that just is what it is. Like their secondary playing better than ours. So I can't. And so like they're going up to Norman and they got to play that defense. I just don't know how their defense is going to stop that offense. And I could see OU stopping their. I can see OU's defense stopping their offense a couple times. So I just don't know how they win that game. So I'm going to have to go with the Sooners.
Sooner. Okay, yeah. I'm going with that because, again, yeah, look, Boomer Sooner. But no, I'm going with OU. The only thing that OU has to stop is their running back. They let him get jiggy with it and get loose. Then that can open up that passing lane and just make a stop on the quarterback, So that's going to be a very interesting game. That is a 12 p.m. start and noon kickoff. I thought they actually was going to play in Norman at night because that would have been a little bit more hectic on it, but they do catch them in the day. Our other honorable mentions are Texas A&M versus LSU. We don't have to rank those, but we got Texas A&M versus LSU. That one is going to be a game, and I think that one is actually a night game, if I'm not mistaken. mistaken. Yes, it is. That is a 7:30 kickoff for that, and then you got Vandy and Mizzou that plays at 3:30. So with SEC spotlight is on this weekend, so we're gonna see. Some teams got to come crawling down, but let's go ahead and move over to the NFL. And let's talk about some of these trade rumors that we're hearing right now. We got Alvin Kamara that's being thrown out there. We don't know what the Saints gonna do, if they gonna which receiver they want to keep, which I'm thinking they gonna keep Olave. You got Brees Hall that's out there. Jacoby Myers, that's a Falcon, so y'all can go ahead and leave that alone. He a Falcon. You got Mark Andrews. You got Trey Henderson. Bradley Chubb that's there. You got a lot of people that are looking to trade some things. So see him, go ahead. What's your thought about some of these trade rumors you're hearing?
You know what? I hear a lot of, saying talk, but I think it's a lot of hot air, man. I don't know. Every time we get to this trade deadline, we expect there to be a bunch of big moves, and it's kind of a lot of mid moves. You know what I mean? So, I would love for somebody, like Brees Hall to go to a team like Kansas City. I think that would really, really unlock his talent and take their offense to another level. I would love for us to somehow get some type of pass rusher, maybe a Jalen Phillips or whatever. That'll be cool. But Trey Hendrickson, I mean, whoever lands him that's a gold mine. You know what I mean? But are they really going to move him now from Cincinnati, because they are actually they're competing in their division? So yeah. I don't know. We get hype about these big names, and we might see somebody like Tony Pollard get traded to somebody, or saying Matt Judon. You know what I mean? A good pickup. You know what I'm saying? Good name, solid player, solid vet. But I don't know if we're gonna see the big names move. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, Max Crosby. Dallas wants them Max Crosby. So
man, I'll just say one thing. I mean, personally in the AFC, I don't need Brees Hall going to the Chiefs.
I know you don't. I know you don't. I
don't want to see that. I'm sorry. Like, like if he get traded, let him get traded to somebody else, like anybody else. But I mean them dudes in KC. I'm sorry, like they've got enough offense. Like they got enough. But no, I mean, like the trades. I mean, I've heard a lot of different names. I mean, I mean, there's a lot of smoke, but there's no real fire yet. I mean, and I get it. Like most teams tend not to want to make these trades until right before the trade deadline. I mean, like they're like us in real life. Like they're going to procrastinate. And I mean, it's probably trying to get a deal done, and probably because the longer you wait to trade for somebody, the less money you're gonna have to pay them in terms of, weekly pay. And I mean, these owners are rich, but they're still cheap. And so you got to keep that in mind. But I mean, like, and I know my team Patriots have been rumored around like a lot of like edge rushers and linebackers. I think there's a report today that came out said that we're mainly focused on the defense, and not on offense. So you have them, and and then you got the Bills that are rumored to try to get a receiver. I've heard either Jacoby Myers or Chris Olave. I've heard that. Jalen Waddle to the Giants. I mean, I've definitely heard that. Like that's where the most smoke for like Jalen Waddle is. But I think Jalen to get Jalen Waddle traded, you're gonna have to give them a first round pick. I don't know how many teams are really gonna be willing to do that.
Who for Jalen Waddle?
Yeah, because they just paid.
Well, because really Tyreek Hill is out the door. If they lose Waddle, they want to try to rebuild that team.
I look at it differently. I look at it as the more money, and it depends on how much they're going to pay. But if the more money I'm inheriting, that's probably the less compensation I'm going to get.
Yeah, but he's
to me, like if he getting paid, I don't know what he getting paid, what Waddle getting paid, but if he getting paid 18, 20, 25 $million, I doubt he gonna get a first round pick for him anyway.
He's getting paid like 27, 28 million.
Yeah, man. He probably
for the wide receiver market, that's actually not that bad because the wide receiver market is up to 40. So I mean,
if he get a third or fourth round pick, someone giving up a second for 28 million for Waddle.
Yeah, but I just don't like, and the reason why they put that first round pick because they don't want to trade him. But I mean the thing is, if you give them a first, then they will trade him. But I don't. Other than that, I don't think they're trading him. Like honestly, I don't think Jalen Waddle's going anywhere. Personally.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, yeah.
But but I mean, like the Dolphins are trying to have a fire sale because I think they're willing to trade their like two edge rushers as well. I think Jalen Phillips and Chubb there, Bradley Chubb, they're willing to trade those guys too for the people that need like pass rush help. So I mean, there's a lot of teams in the AFC that aren't really doing that well, like the Jets and the Dolphins, and they're willing to sell off pieces because they pretty much know that they're not going anywhere. So.
Yeah, but I do agree with C. Hen. I think this will be smoke, but I know the off season might be a little bit fire this year. We get a little bit more promotion with some of these people, some of these teams trying to move out some of these pieces coming up on this current NFL draft. NFL injury updates. Go ahead, C. Hen.
Real quick before we go, I will say this though. I do think that some of those savvy GMs will make a move for like a Brees, who's on the last year of his deal, for like a Jalen Phillips, who's on the last year of their deal, because they can get them in for a rental, if you will, and then they can let them walk. And now that they become part of their free agent, formula. So possibly they can get a compensation pick for them. So say they give up a 4th or 5th round pick for them, rent them for a couple of weeks, let them walk in free agents. They can possibly get that pick back, not this year, but next year in their free agent mix. So I see a savvy GM or two doing something like that. But overall, though, those big names, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, somebody's gonna be desperate enough if they feel like they coaches is on the hot seat. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it just depends how like the position you're in like the playoff picture, and I mean how bad you're trying to win this year.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said it depends on who coaches on the hot seat. Even if they are having that middle of the road season, but if they can make a move to push them towards the goal of playoffs, we might see a few. But NFL injuries, we know Jaden Daniels, the 85, is out. Bryce Young, not out, but suffered an injury. Bryce Young got an ankle injury. He's trying to push to play. Mike Evans is pretty much probably out for the rest of the season with that broken clavicle that he pretty much suffered, and he had a concussion on top of that. We do get Carson Wentz tonight, so that means JJ is still dealing with his injury, which is kind of crazy. And then, the Bills still have Kincaid out. They still have Matt out. So it's a tough. I even think did Lamar practice this week?
Limited today.
Limited? Okay.
Yeah. Yesterday and today he practiced, so.
Okay. So he looked to probably be coming back. I don't know if Tyrod can go. They benched Justin last week, but he got injured. Tyrod got injured. So, and then they're also missing Sauce. I don't know if he's out of concussion protocol. So it's some. Let's just say this: NFL is injury prone right now with some people, but like. Nico Collins in concussion protocol. This CJ
Stroud. My dog.
Christian Kirk is hurt.
So. I mean, but at least like a lot of these injuries aren't like multi, like these are not 6 to 8 weeks injuries. Like concussions are a couple weeks. Yeah. And I mean, some of these other injuries are like high ankle sprains, which are tend to be a couple weeks. Like there's not like other than Mike Evans, who I mean, he's not gonna be ready to the playoffs. I mean, like if the Bucs make it there, so. I mean, other than Mike and a couple other injuries, like it's not stuff that's like ACL tears or Achilles tears where they're done for the season. But it don't make it no easy for the team.
Jeffrey Simmons still has that hamstring injury.
Yeah.
What were you saying,
I mean, but that's just gonna help the Titans out because at this point, the Denver boys is tanking at this point, so.
Look, almost every team has a significant injury. Shoot, heck, my team, I'm missing Billy Bowman. He got a hamstring, so he might be missing this game. Jalen might be missing game number 2. We just put somebody on IR. They talking about Penix got a bone bruise. So yeah, everybody's just injured at this point.
I mean, like there's such a like to me. I've been looking around. There seems to be an influx of like hamstring injuries this year for some reason. Like a lot of people got that injury. And I've been noticing that like
yogas and Pilates, please. Yoga and Pilates, ballet. Y'all need to stretch.
And it's not just one position. Like it's not just like wide receivers and cornerbacks. You're getting defensive tackles with that injury. You're getting offensive tackles with that injury. Tight ends with that injury. Like it's a linebackers with that. There's a lot of different positions that getting that same injury, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we are definitely going to see that with there. But let's get ahead and get into these QB rankings really quick. We're just only going to look at the top five because, again, a lot of people are chiming in. A lot of people are chiming in when it comes down to some of this quarterback play, and basically, we're going to see what the top five rankings are for this year when it comes down to QBs with everything. So, J Mick, while we wait for Hen to come back, who do you have as your top five right now as far as QBs go?
I mean, I think you got to put Mahomes number one. He's having a bounce back season. A lot of people thought that he might have peaked, but it's obviously clear that he's shown that he has not peaked quite yet because he's playing quite well. Number two, I'd probably go. This might be controversial for some people, but I think I might go Matthew Stafford number two. Like the numbers that he's putting up, and I mean, Puka didn't even play last week. He still put what 5 TDs on the Jaguars. So I think he's like third in passing yards. I think he's got the most passing touchdowns in the league. Yeah. So I put Stafford two. I'm gonna go Dak Prescott number three, even though his team's not winning a lot. He's got the second most pass numbers in the league. I think he's got the second most passing touchdowns in the league. So that's my top three. Number four. This is tough, man, but I kind of gotta go Daniel Jones number four. I mean, he's having a tremendous, and I mean he's playing really well. I mean his team got the best record in the NFL. And so I mean he's got about 10 passing touchdowns. He's only got 1,800 yards passing. And last but not least, number five. I can't pick between the two, so I'm gonna have a 5A and 5B. I got Baker and my guy Drake May.
How did I know you was gonna work? How did I know you was gonna work Drake May into this mix? You know what I'm saying? I thought he was gonna be at number three when you said this is gonna be controversial. I thought he was gonna sneak him in right there, but he is playing at a high level. He playing at a high level.
And I'm gonna put him in the top five. I just gonna put him at three just yet. So
okay. So we should be looking out for Mr. May over there with the Patriots. Hen, who do you got as your top five QB so far with this season?
Just this season, I'm gonna go with definitely Patrick Mahomes, man. I love what he's doing with the weapons that he has. Poetry in motion over there. Number two, I'm gonna go with Dak. I think he's playing at a high level. I ain't gonna lie to you. I got a little fantasy football bias there. You know, Dak is taking me to many championships over the years, and got him on like 3 teams this year. So I a little, a little bit I was biased towards that. Number 3, I think Baker's playing at a very high level. And I think that he's playing with, some guys that, traditionally wouldn't be out there on the field. So I like him at 3. Number 4, I still think Josh Allen is playing, well. No complaints there. I think we kind of get, he gets overlooked. He's been playing at such a high level for so long. I think he kind of gets overlooked. We just wait for him to win big at this point. And number 5, I guess I'm gonna follow J Mick's lead. I gotta give Daniel Jones a little bit of love, man. I gotta give him a little bit of love. He's definitely got them boys sitting up 6-1 and don't know where they came from. You know what I'm saying? Could be 5-2, making a do what it do. 4-3 kind of good, but couldn't be me. 3-4, you know what I'm saying? You okay? But you were halfway out the door. 2-5, hey, y'all barely alive. 1-6, hey, ain't that about a bit? 7, hey, just keep praying to heaven, baby. You know what I'm talking about? We got everybody covered this week. Everybody covered, baby.
First of all, I'm not going to play with you, but I'm not. But mine's definitely we'll start from 5. Daniel Jones. I do respect him. Again, you know how we say sometimes a new scenery can get you actually doing that. We seen that with Sam Darnold when it came down to the Vikings last year, and this year Daniel Jones is having his Sam Darnold moment. I will give it to Drake May. Drake May has been playing out of his mind. over there for the Patriots with that. So to see him and dude, I can't wait to really see him next year and see, him just grow with that. Um, this one irks Dak number 3, but I'm gonna leave my biases at the door. Dak is doing what he can with what he's working with over there with the Cowgirls. This one really hurts because he's in my division, but Baker, I don't know what voodoo or whatever, but I'm just gonna go to SD and I'm gonna go find one of those other working women to see what we can do about that. But because he didn't look like Baker when he played against the Lions, but he was trying to make a comeback, so I'm gonna give that. And then Pat Mahomes, Pat Tizzle, Pat Tizzle can show you that I can win a Super Bowl without wide receivers. I can sit over here and bring my team back and put my team on my shoulders to at least try to get us some type of wins. So Pat Mahomes, that's just Pat Mahomes. So that's just kind of who I got so far for this season. But we'll visit these lists. Keep your QBs in mind. We will revisit this list when it comes down to the end of the season to kind of see exactly where some of these quarterbacks actually lands up, and see if they can actually take their teams to the next level. But let's talk about our top games right now. The Vikings and LA are playing currently on Thursday night. Then we have Dallas versus Denver, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Packers. So, Jay Mick, who do you got tonight, and who are your other choices?
This is tough, man. I'm gonna go with the Chargers because they're the home team. And a lot of these Thursday night games, the home team tends to win, so I'll go with them. I think it's a really close game. It's hard to pick. Denver, I just think Denver's defense is going to slow down the Dallas offense, so I got Denver in that game. And I just don't trust the Pittsburgh offense, so I'm going to go with the Packers.
Go, Pat, go. I know C here don't want to hear that. But go ahead.
I'm calling tonight. I don't know what to call tonight's game. I don't know if it's the fraudulent bowl. I think that's a little too heavy for us. So we're gonna call this the Who Is You bowl. We're gonna find out tonight who is you. Are you a pretender or a contender? And I'm gonna go with the Chargers in this game because I'm again, they're the home team. I can't trust Carson Wentz, and it's hard for me to pencil in Minnesota for a win. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers tonight. As far as Denver and Dallas, I think that game has potential to be a shootout. I know Denver comes in, with all the accolades about their defense, but we saw Scatterboo and Dart and them kind of put up some points on those guys last week. And I think that brings in an efficient offensive attack. And, Pickens is over there. Ferguson is over there. Javante has been putting up some numbers. So I think that kind of has a little bit of shootout potential. And I think Denver wins, but in a very, very close game. And Bo Nix maybe comes to age a little bit in that game. Last but not least, definitely going A-Rod, I still see you. You still got some type of yellow on you, so I still see you as the enemy. You know what I'm saying? I can't really decipher who's who in this situation, so everybody can get sprayed in this one. But I'm gonna go with Green Bay on my parlay. I'm gonna go with Green Bay in this one. I think Jordan Love does just enough, and this boy Jacobs has been hot, man. I think anytime touchdown for him this week. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, all right. I do have the Chargers again. The Vikings playing Carson Wentz. Not as we discussed, JJ is still hurt with that. And again, LA is trying to make up some ground over there in that AFC West too as well. They're trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. So they definitely would kind of benefit from this win, even though it's a out of conference game, but they can still benefit from this win. You do have Dallas versus Denver. I will definitely give it to Denver. Again, Dallas cannot stop the run to save their life. That's why they want to go after Max Crosby to bring that, which again, this goes back to why did you get rid of Parsons again? You should have just paid him this money. Anyway, Pitts versus the Packers. I definitely will be going with the Packers. I think that Packers defense is going to be a little bit too much for A-Rod on there, to be honest with you. They show some things, and I do want to see more of Jordan Love. I need Jordan Love to really get out and show his mentor, and put quotation mark, his mentor, that he learned something. So This is definitely going to be one of those games that is going to be close. I think all these games are going to be close, to be honest with you. They're going to be real close, tight games with it as we move into November style football. But with that being said, do y'all have any final words before we get on out of here for our Thursday night? J. Mick.
Oh, no, not really. I mean, the only thing I can say is, man, like the Patriots trying to get to a 5-game winning streak, man. That's all we're trying to do.
You got the Falcons coming up. Shh.
Yeah,
Go
but we
ahead,
got
Sihan.
Hey man, everybody, man, just love on your loved ones, man. Hug them. You know what I'm saying? Lost some dear friends this week, and life is real. But hey, man, we got to keep going, man. So keep your head up and let folks know that you love them and appreciate them while they're here. Give them their flowers while they're above ground. That's all I got for you.
Yep, why they above ground? I definitely agree with that. So we got some exciting college football going on. We got some NFL going on, and again, it seems like a good weekend. Make sure you see your girl. Next week I'll get y'all my cash out, so y'all go ahead cash out because their birthday coming up. All right, it is Scorpio season. I'm over here acting a fool, but again, we'll see y'all next Thursday. My hair will finally be done. Jesus, thank God. But we'll see y'all.